Yo, it's your boy, Neo Synthesis, coming back at you. Just wanted to kind of, I'm gonna just make this a video, I think, about just either a quick little recap of my experience so far in Platinum. So I don't know if there's been more games. I think there maybe was more games, because I believe there's probably replays on my channel that are not in here, but are Platinum replays. So I think that it drags back considerably further. But I just wanted to kind of show off. My win rate has actually dropped dramatically, so excuse me. The win rate initially was a really like obscene and obviously something that I knew was not going to hold up. And I think that I basically played. I don't know if you guys have ever if you've watched enough Yu-Gi-Oh content in your life, or you've played you've played the game long enough, you watched enough deck profiles, you've maybe heard this term before. So the most famous time I can remember its use was it was actually Mega Capital G, who was actually a super OG, somebody who's done a ton for the game of Yu-Gi-Oh in general, and was really big 2013, 14, 15, back when I was really actively playing. And 16, I suppose as well. But back when I was an active paper player, and I was actually I looked at a deck profile recently of mine from my first place regional top, and that, 3 Solemn Strikes when they were at their highest, that 3 just as a full PK Fire deck, and it was good. But it was not a cheap list at all. So many expensive cards, so many ghost rares. I look at some of my collection that I've sold off, and I just get so sad. Anyway, that's just kind of a little background on what I mean. I'm gonna talk about a little bit of my background in the game. I'm not a terrible player. I have played in more tournaments in paper than I think most people in general. I would say there's probably maybe that 10% of people who go to a ton of events, but I participated in YCS Atlanta. I don't remember the year. The Pepe one, the one that people talk about. I actually just didn't play Pepe, and X2 dropped. What do you guess? I just wasn't playing Pepe. I'm pretty sure I was playing the worst deck ever. I was playing a Mermail OTK going second versus Pepe deck, which was completely a clown move. I was no, this is the meta call is Mermail, because Neptibus just came out and people don't know what this card does, and I can just Dragoons them for a million resources. But what ended up happening in that format was that Pepe goes plus 18 or something. Just Perform Agent Pendulums under Master Roll 3. So that means you have scales that are not even in your monster zone. You had, places to put your scales. Well, they were dedicated for that on the board. Obviously, no weird link stuff. It's not even a thing. It's never crossed my mind. All I knew is that, oh boy, I was actually on Dark Pendulum before the deck came out. Basically we were playing a kind of a Clown Blade rep tier Pendulum list, because me and my buddy are actually just on the sauce in this game. We just kind of I've always had a nose for the meta, and he's one of the best technical players I've ever seen. So we were able to do a lot of fun stuff back in the day. You can probably find that Draco Pals or Perform Ages in Pals deck profile. It has about 10,000 views on YouTube somewhere. Where we actually just talk over each other the whole time. And I'll defend that to the day that I die. That the reason I was talking over is because that deck was my brainchild. It was my absolute baby. I built the thing, but I'm not the best player in the world. Alex, probably my best friend. He is probably the best technical player I've ever had the chance of playing with. He's his first deck was a hieratic deck, and then he became, in my opinion, a Necrov one trick. He just loved that deck, and he played it Like when it came out as Nakloth in the in Japan, immediately picked it up, played it like nonstop, built his own deck. It was beautiful. He was building his own deck. He loved that deck. His numbers were awful though. You look at his first deck profile. He was playing like 3 Trishula, 1 Valkyris. He was just like basically was building combo Necros like to OTK people because he wasn't encountering a lot of mirrors in his testing. Because we were mostly testing on YGO Pro Ladder or Dev Pro Ladder or whatever it was back in the day, and let me just tell you, that's not actually a very competitive ladder. So yeah, there was that. So his numbers were terrible, but you know he's a really amazing technical player. Almost never made misplays playing that deck when he had like a list that he basically, you know, you get the core numbers together and you have a couple wiggle room tech choice cards. Maybe his tech choice cards aren't the best. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying his deck building was terrible by any means, because he's had much better results than me throughout his entire career. He topped multiple regionals. He day 2'd YCS Atlanta in Pepe format, which is a quite impressive feat because that is one of the most technical and skill intensive matchups I think ever has come out, because it's a complete tier 0 format. Whereas in mirror matches, I always say I think the best player usually is going to win them, but I guess not always. But anyway, especially because Pepe was like I think a lot of a coin flip as well. Getting to go first with that deck was completely insane, because what you do with Pepe is you set up like the CDI, Trap Trickster Fleesia, and then maybe there was more too. Oh yeah, you can make CDI, Trap Trickster Fleesia, and then there was, I feel like, another. You had another interrupt card that you could make. Not that it was really... Excuse me. Talking a lot kind of hurts my throat because I normally am I keep to myself and just play video games and stuff. And even when I'm playing... I'm not usually a verbal leader. I just kind of talk when I get mad. I try not to get mad that much, even though I'm pretty bad at it in most games. I haven't getting mad at this game at all because I'm just having I'm having a blast. As you can see, so I've gone through this. So I didn't really know before, but I guess these count as this is the most recent 20 games. This is my match history, and I don't know if I can watch replays as far back as here. Perhaps I can. If I can, I'll just throw this on in the background while I talk. I guess I can comment on a few things, but I basically just want to. Well, I kind of don't. I don't want to get off the topic of my experience back in the day, but Alex and I traveled to a lot of events together. We went to Las Vegas. We went to Atlanta's where we live, so luckily we got to play in a YCS in our home city, which is just like amazing. And then him and I were both able to qualify for the World Championship qualifier. There's no chance I would have been able to qualify without him. He taught me pretty much all of my technical play ability. He's really, really good. He's like a brilliant strategist. And yeah, I never would have gotten where I am now, which is, I mean, not necessarily that far. But, oh my god, I saved that replay. Sad. It would be a shame if your skills got drained, wouldn't it? And yeah, this game, I just connected to it, won the die roll, and I think he actually cheated. I think he cheated. I actually think he did something. I'm not going to report him because I can't, obviously I have no way to confirm it, but I won the die roll, went first, set 5 cards, and like set up like a pretty nutso first board, and then I disconnected immediately. And it's just 0 turns. So, you tell me. Gilbert007. Did you enjoy your free win versus me? So anyway, that's kind of where I got. So the recent 20 games, I'm sure you're wondering, or you already counted. I've lost 4 times, including that disconnect. And I have exclusively played my Eldritch deck. I have not even changed 1 card. And I actually have there's a new replay that I'll probably do a review of after this video. That really shows off, I think, the value of having an anti-spell fragrance. But you know, I'll watch that game and I'll think about what if it was a strike, or what if it was the 3rd warning. when your Eld Lord gets called by, it's really sad. It's not the best in this situation because I'm able to, like, it's Sanguine Elixir. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to win the game here because, yeah, my turn, Extravagance, draw 2, and I have Vanity's Emptiness and a Judgment and a Tikaboo, and yeah, and there's Elixir of White too, from if my Eld Lord somehow gets destroyed and I need to bring it back from the graveyard. I don't even need to bother with the Golden Land trap effect. Wow, I'm a psycho! So I pop my own Eld Lord there so I can use my White Destiny, so I can proc my White Destiny on my own turn in the graveyard to get a set from my deck, which is, this is actually like such a nasty play. Like, yeah, this guy's not, he's not really played the game. He hasn't even used one card. He dusters me. Yeah. Well, I guess this is just Solemn Judgment replay, isn't it? Yeah. Even if I didn't have the Judgment, I still win this game because I'm not going to activate either one of the traps, and they're both going to get end phase effects to set elixirs from my deck. So I mean, unless you had a way to stop my and I'll show. I don't think I've shown any losses, but I'll just show it. I don't know what happened. I probably misplayed severely and was punished for it. Maybe he just drew insane. Maybe I'm gonna speed this up and not really. Maybe I'll talk about it. Maybe I won't. But I just want to kind of get back to. Ooh, I kind of draw nasty to the Heos first. Wow. This is probably just gonna be an Eld Mirror. No, it's PK. Oh yeah, I make a horrible misplay in this game. Yeah, I remember. I could have won. This guy really comboed off for 1 billion years too. I do remember this distinctly. Italy too. He makes F-Zero? Oh, and he makes... Oh yeah, I remember what I did this game. Yeah, I just didn't read the card. Yo, no, read card. Yo if I just would have activated Skill Drain, I would have completely blown him out and won. So I just want to show, like, there are things you can do to mess up, but, like, if you were reading Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like, I just didn't read this Yu-Gi-Oh card. Literally, just didn't read it. And I deserve to lose because of it. None of my other cards are going to turn out real. They're fake traps, because... Yeah, they're just fake. I guess I should have striked. I don't know why. I can't or something. I can't strike. Oh, I'm not worried about it. So I guess I continue to grind, but I've pretty much already ruined my chances at winning this game because I'm just a fool. So, Kong. Golden Hand. What does that card even do? Max sees me. I can't strike Max C here. No. Oh. Oh, why am I taking Torrential? What did I just do? Oh my, am I a win trader on the ladder? Did I just give that guy a free win? Please, nobody, like, report me for that one. Just what I mean, I'm a terrible player. Honestly, I talk about the misplays I make in just about every single game. I don't want to run that replay quite yet. I guess I'm just gonna look at the deck list real quick. As I kind of just continue talking about. Yeah, funnily enough, this is like a good little. Here, I'll just make like a new deck list basically, and I'm gonna put cards that I may or may not have in it. I'm just going to run through kind of the decks that I've actually built in paper and played competitively. So my very first paper deck, Satellar. Perfect. We have one Satellar Knight. So this is not one that was out when I... Oh, man! This one's good, too. You'd play it. I don't want to make the super rare Deneb. This is one. We can make this one. I would be happy to see this card. Unu Kalahai. So this is the first paper deck I played. I bought my Denebs at $20 a pop. And the extra deck was obviously the most expensive part of that deck. I think it's trash. Awful. Boo-boo. Terrible deck. It was not even good in the format, really. And then but I kept playing it, It just activates Satellar Nova Pass. It's a helmet deck, kinda, but you make rank 4s. But the power level was way too low. Like, you didn't get to recur Eldlord every turn, which is what makes this stun deck really viable and really, really good, because it's the best thing you do in that stun deck is, like, summon 2,500 beat sticks or 2,800 wall. The best thing you did in this deck was, like, make... What? Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, these are the cards that I was like looking for. You made like you made Constellar Knight Diamond, but you couldn't make this on turn 1. I was like the main weakness of this card. You should only get it during your main phase too. But you basically played this thing. You played this whole deck. How crazy is that? You played this whole deck back in the day, just so you could have access to 3 basically Solemn Judgment. We had cards like Emptiness at 3, cards like Skill Drain were still at 3 in TCG, which they're limited now. I believe Skill Drain's still limited. All of these cards were at 3, and I was playing this Satellar deck basically to tribute my Tellar Knight and negate an activation. Dang. I mean, it was pretty good to do it, because basically you tribute your 1,500 normal summon, or your 1,200 normal summon, or your 1,700 normal summon, and next turn you'd have the Altair. Altair was considered such a good card back in the day, because it was a 1-card rank 4 XYZ, and rank 4 XYZs were... I mean, that was the cream of the crop for a long time. Like, pretty much my entire way playing. I played pretty much from Duel Alliance format, and I stopped playing as Zoo. I think I stopped playing Zoo because I thought that it was going to be completely unaffordable to play Zoo. I thought that the deck was just going to like keep going up and up and up and up and up. I didn't really have the best understanding of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Economics back then. Because, I mean, if I would have bought Zoo when it came out, like, it stayed at the same price. It never really went up or down because it was a tier 0 deck the entire time. I thought it was going to keep going up, and I didn't have the money to buy it all up front. So I didn't want to buy, like, the expensive cards and have, like, the rest of the deck be just suddenly out of my price range. I didn't really have any money back then. So how many money right now? So I played Tellar Knights. And then the next deck that I played, and I absolutely adore this deck. This is very near and dear to my heart. As you can see, I actually pulled 3 ultra rares of this because I think the game somehow knew that I was like a Shadal player. I literally have like I have a secret rare Shadal fusion like taped to my desk, my nightstand rather. But there's like a lot of meaning behind that card. Anyway, played this deck, but I don't know if my timeline's 100% right. So there might be back and forth, but I'm just gonna kind of run through. But I played it with Perform. This card's a super. Can we not get a Perform Mage card? No, they're expensive. Okay. I played the Clown Shadal deck. So I did the regular Shaddoll deck as like a stun deck, which actually would have been really good for me because I was like a good. I'm actually a good stun. I'm a better stun player than I am a combo player. So I could have played this. I could have played Dolls the entire time they were out, and they just played them as stun when they first came out. We played like Sinister Shadow games and like a bunch of traps. But I actually think the best stun deck in that form was probably BA. Jeff Jones popularized that really sick like Monarch stun BA, and like I wish I was playing that. Like that guy is like, talk about a deck building genius. Talk about like the actual, probably I would say he's got to be the greatest deck builder of all time. Jeff Jones. Yeah, I feel. I mean, Billy Brake too. I mean, there's some players that you start mentioning their names and you're like, whoa, that guy really, like, that guy just like basically. I mean, Billy Brake, didn't he win 2 YCSs consecutively or something like that? Something absolutely like unfathomable to do. And then he won YCS Dallas. And just out of the blue, basically came back from nowhere with a deck list that nobody He basically just said, you know what? There's so many good cards in this format. There's like, I just can't decide how to play all of them. And like, why I can't, I'm fitting in incomplete engines of this and that and this and that. I'm gonna play everything. His 60 card BA Shaddoll, like, absolute monstrosity of a deck, like Curry Bandits, and just like, he was just going plus a million and setting a bunch of traps, and he was just, I mean, yeah. Inspiring. Couldn't afford that deck either, because he just, I mean, he's Billy Brake, so he just has every card in the game, and the better cards are usually pretty expensive, and I was 15. When that list came out, or something like that, 16. I didn't even have my driver's license yet. Yeah, it would have been pretty hard for me to afford all that, because I think tour guides were still like a good $30 for the cheapest, and Curry Bandits were like 20s or 15s a piece, and Mathematicians were also around 15 a piece or something like this. Not to mention all the Shaddoll stuff, which was expensive from release until the end. Shaddoll was actually pretty cheap though, because the most expensive card you had to get was like the $20 constructs, and those were, and the rest of the cards in the deck were commons and rares, like the main deck, and then the extra deck was just the super window. You only needed the 1. I mean, you rarely went into the 2, which was like, it was like a $20 card. The $10 Shaddoll fusions, which never really got higher than that, because they were also supers. I think it was super affordable, to be honest, but you did have to play like good traps until the clowns came out, and then you played the combo variant. So I was a big combo Shaddoll clown connoisseur, where you were like trying to just make rank 4s and make constructs and send stuff and draw cards with beast and set cards from your or send cards from your deck to your graveyard and banish a card and special summon a clown or you normal summon you send your damage juggler, search your trick clown normal, overlay into something like you could overlay into King of the Feral Imps in a situation where you were sending cards from, you go second and you're sending cards from your deck to your hand or to the graveyard with Shaddoll fusion. So you have that, like, you have a fusion on the board, you have actually just construct, because obviously I'm sending a clown with the doll fusion, and you could basically get like a King of the Feral Imps, search. What's the card called? I don't remember. Gigabyte, I think. Giga. Whoa! Yeah, there you go. You get Gigabyte, and you control a spellcaster monster. No, you don't, because you don't get Gigabyte. You got there was a maybe you didn't make Feral Imps. Maybe you I don't know what you would. I guess you could make Dweller and detach the Trick Clown, which was you did that sometimes. So you had a Dweller for your opponent's turn. But you use your Dweller on your turn to, because I think Dweller is just one-sided, right? Yeah. So yeah. Duh. Sorry, yeah, because Dweller is actually like one of the craziest cards in the game, because you can detach. How is Dweller not banned? How has this card never reached the Forbidden Limit list? I'm with it. But I played this Shadal deck for like literally until they pried it out of my cold dead hands and they banned El Shadal Construct, and I sold my 3 ultis for 15 apiece because I was a Yu-Gi-Oh player, not a collector, so I was chucking my cards to get more cards. That's just how it is. And that's what we do in Master Duel. That's what we do in real life. It's not about the value in my heart. If it was about the value in my heart, I'd still have my dual terminal Trishula, because that card was just the most precious thing I've ever owned. It's about the value in dollars. It was about the value in dollars. Now all the cards I have are sentimental. They don't have dollar signs on them. The reason that I kind of neglected to elaborate on this, but the reason I say that I have so many more tournaments under my belt is because I was actually lucky enough to live, and I mean I'm sure you guys, some of you probably know, but Atlanta has a really vibrant Yu-Gi-Oh scene. It actually is like quite competitive. There's been a lot of really strong players who actually came out of my locals specifically, so I was absolutely blessed with the ability to week in and week out be able to potentially play. I mean, not even potentially. I played multiple matches against Patrick Hoban, multiple matches. Corey McDuffie has. I personally knew him. Him and Alex were closer than me and Corey were, but Corey knew who I was, and he was always helping us with our lists, and we would always, at the YCSs, we would go over there and sit with Corey, and Corey's awesome. Or Corey was awesome. Yeah. Excuse me. But yeah, I played this deck until so when YCS Atlanta happened, I also played a pretty cool Dark Pendulum deck that played like Draco, Darko, Militich, Draco. This card. Whoa, this card's still limited. Well, that just goes to show you. Played this. It was like a very cool when Luster Pendulum was like the only one that was out of the Draco. So you had this card and you had this card, and this card wasn't out yet because this card came out in maybe this card came out in Breakers of Shadow. I don't know. You didn't have the a lot of normals to reveal. I don't really remember how these cards worked, but I know the Draco Face-Off was really vital, and I knew that I bought like 40 Luster Pendulums when they came out, because I'm an OCG overlord. I love following that format, and that's why I think I'm so good at this game, because it's obviously OCG format. But you got cards. I was high on these Lusters. I was buying them for 10s. I was buying them for 15. Or I was buying them for 10s and 7s and 10s pretty much, and they made it all the way up to like 15. So that funded a little bit of the Yu-Gi-Oh action. So I played the Shadal deck. I played the Satellar Knight deck. I played I played this really sick Monarch. So Monarch is actually a lame person deck, and it's for boomers, which, I mean, it's fine to be a boomer. I'm playing kind of a boomer deck. Lich, I think, is a bit boomer, but we can just throw this. We actually didn't play this card. This was the best card in the I mean, obviously, never mind. This is the best card in the Monarch deck. I didn't even play Domain. I think I played one Domain, but I didn't play it for this effect. I think I played it for reducing the monster by 2. Yeah, I did. So I didn't play it for this while you have no cards in the extra deck effect. I didn't want to play. I didn't play for the stun. I played it for the kind of the extender. I still have my German Caius, the Mega Monarch, from when I was playing this this deck. I didn't. I think you played Caius in the more Monarch focused version of the deck that was like, you know, a domain deck that you didn't play extra deck in. I actually played extra deck Monarchs with Brilliant Fusion and like Brilliant Fusion and Super Quantal Beasts and all this really sick tech that could just make it was just extenders on extenders on extenders. I played E-Teleport so I can make like synchros. Did I play rank 3s? I don't think I played rank 3s. Why did I even have that super Quantal blue layer? I've got to read this card. Yes, blue. Here it is, actually. Okay, because so you get this card to search the red. Yeah, you E-Tele search the red. And you can use it to reshuffle your stuff, so that's pretty sick. So you played a lot of cards in this deck. It was really cool. That was a fun. E-Tele was limited back then, but the Quantals. Oh, it was just Quantum. Okay, the XCs are the Quantals. So I didn't never play the Power Ranger version of this deck. This is sick, by the way. If you were an absolute Giga Chad, you just made Mech King Great Magnus and main decked 3 Mask of Restrict so people couldn't guide you. But that's not really that realistic. This deck was really like super cool. I enjoyed. I was an enjoyer of the Quantals. But the red layers is what you played in the deck. It's just like a rank 5 toolbox, which is insanely powerful. The Prime Monarch is like a rank 5 fodder for days. Especially something. I mean, using the Monarchs as like an ability to disrupt on your opponent's turn was also completely insane. You had Erebus to disrupt like any plays that really they did, because you could Stormforth Erebus them on their turn, which back then was just way too insane, because there was just, I mean, it's still pretty insane, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know, why is Monarchs... I don't, because the OCG and the TCG format are so different, so in the TCG, this card I believe is limited still. I don't know if it is. Honestly, I have not kept up with the TCG. Perhaps there's... See, like, when you do stuff like this and you're, like, trying to determine if a deck's been hit, sometimes I forget this. It doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it has been hit. But I played, like, an extra variant of this Monarch deck, which was super, super cool. Like, the power level was way, 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 way higher than anything else in the format, but obviously the consistency was terrible. None of the cards worked together at all. Like, you drew, sometimes you drew all, it's like, oops, no, or oops, like, I drew Tenacity, Stormforth, Garnet, and Super Quantal Blue Layer. I think that's actually still pretty good, funnily enough. You can't have Quantal Blue Layer, you gotta have 3 Tenacity. You gotta have Tenacity and like, Prime. But that would legit happen to you, where you just draw, like, oops, none of my cards work together right now, so... It was the price of being able to go into all those really insane, sick rank 5 plays that you could do. You had to sacrifice the consistency. It was just an unfortunate reality. And then I believe, so I actually skipped a deck at land. Bro, come on. Why are these cards ultras? Mermail. Oops. I didn't play any of these cards. Oh, I did play this card. So we will be happy to. Yeah, I'll generate this one. Sure. It's common. Played like a really terrible Mermail OTK list. Like a going second list in Pepe format, which I kind of described. This is really popular in Japan, and I think that's just an unfortunate reality of me not actually being in Japan and just kind of following a metagame from afar. Because I think that if you interviewed the players that were playing Mermail, they would tell you that they hate Pepe and they think that that is the most broken deck ever made, and that their deck is not good at all, and that they just play it because they love it, which I can completely understand and respect. If you love a deck so much that you can, you're just such an expert with it that you're just able to outplay your opponents even when they're playing a deck that's either a much higher power level, much higher consistency level. That's awesome, but got lost in translation for me, and I ended up just playing like a really bad deck with like twin twisters in the main deck, and like just trying to stun my opponents out of the game, or not stun my opponents out of the game, but just like, I don't know. It was a terrible deck. I lost. Like I said, YC's Atlanta was not my event. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, and then I played PK Fire. I played Fan. Oh, wow. I actually have my WCQ mat right here. My nice Ancient Cloak. This dude, the ragged gloves, and the swift boots. Are they? Okay. I was gonna say what? So Rusty Bardiche is the only. This is like a new support card for this deck. It was actually a pretty budget friendly deck, to be honest. Because I played Burning Abyss too. And by the way, so I played this card. Burning Abyss. I played this deck too. Like the BAs were in there. Is nothing banned? Is BA just full power? Yeah, because I think I have the Forbiddens. Or the rares. I was like trying to. My brain just completely stopped. This deck is not better friendly because Dante. Dante is 90. And you don't just need Dante's. You need this Cherubini card for sure. You need this Beatrice. Another probably 2 Beatrice. Fire Lake is getting disrespected down here as a normal card. What are the other cards there? Rubik is also getting... Oh, Rubik is a bad card. I won't lie to you. Rubik's getting disrespected. Rubik was an ultra rare in real life. Okay, Konami? Let's throw some respect on my boy's name. And why are we're making the cards that were rares, they're super rares. Leave them alone. Or make... Seer is better than Farfa. Get out of here. This Farfa, like, utility technology card, like, I get Farfa is a better card in the context of Yu-Gi-Oh, but in the context of BA, Seer is like the most nutty card in the entire deck. Seer, I mean, I don't know what the new BA does, to be honest, but like, Seer, and the thing with the Fire Lake was also one of the nuttiest cards. This card would be so good in this format right now. This card is so good right now. Like, literally, it's so good. If you make a first turn board... Imagine you make a first turn board versus me and you Fire Lake me in the end phase. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna go turn 1, set 5. You're gonna go, okay, end phase Fire Lake, pop 3 of your back row. I go, wanna go next? Like, and then you go, and then both your BAs float, because that's just what that deck does. It's not bad. I think Fire Lake is a nasty card. This card is really good. It was format warping in the next Challengers format. When I was playing, I don't remember what I was playing. I think I was playing Shadal's at this point. When it was like the Trinity format, where it was like Shadal, Klee, and BA. Like I said, I played in that Super Games Locals, so it was like really like the best players in the world playing like premier decks week in, week out. I played a lot of BA. BA was easily my most common matchup. It was like YCS. It was an extreme advantage in my opinion, playing at such competitive locals, because basically there was some players who were not very good. Obviously, every locals I think has that. Some players are playing off meta stuff, this, that, or the other. But basically, I would have 6 months of 2 tournaments a week where I was playing YCS distribution, like maybe 1 or 2 rogue decks out of a 32-man tournament on a Saturday, 16-man tournament on a Wednesday. You play maybe 2 rogue. There's maybe 2 rogue decks in the whole thing on a Tuesday, and on a Saturday there's maybe 5 rogue decks. And you got to play like top 8, and it was like we actually played it out because it was a not official Konami store. So we also played for store credit. People actually really wanted it. They didn't really care about the I'd never gotten an OTS pack in my life. Like literally, I've never even touched an OTS pack or a turbo pack or any of that stuff. I have turbo pack cards, but I've never had the pleasure of opening a Konami reward pack. Maybe I got some OTS. Maybe I got some tournament packs when I entered my regional and my regionals YCSs. I think you do get. You may not get tournament packs. I think they literally were giving core sets at some of those events, WCQ and stuff. I was literally opening like Shiv and stuff. Funny, I opened a Shining Victories pack the other day. I didn't pull anything out of it. I actually opened a Secret Forces pack the other day, and I pulled a Vanity's Enginist out of it. And I pulled a Secret Rare Necros card. Necros of Catastor. You know? The best one. Anyway, I think that's going to be it. I think that's going to be the conclusion of my background with competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Just giving people a little bit of kind of insight. Obviously, I did poorly at the WCQ. I think pretty much I hate to kind of tell everybody in the comments who's never played it like the highest level, because basically there's only one tournament in the year of 2016 that I was not qualified to play in. That was Worlds. I was able to. I was qualified to play in every other like level of tournament. I know obviously I couldn't play in like the EU or whatever because I didn't qualify in EU, but in America, in my region, I qualified for every single tournament. I could have played in every single YCS. Obviously, anyone can jump in a YCS, but not everyone can jump in nationals. You need an invitation for that. And at that highest level, pretty much every single person there, because it's like a 2,000-man event, is disappointed with their results. 32 people or 64 people are happy. And then in that group of 64, 10 of them aren't happy with that. And then in that group of 32, that higher up, there's 5 in there that aren't happy with that. And there's top 6, and there's the person who came in second isn't happy with that because he prepared his whole year to play and win. He's not happy he got second. Somebody like Patrick Hoban or Corey McDuffie or any of these like Billy Brake, these Jeff Jones, these like legendary Yu-Gi-Oh figures, they want to win the whole tournament. They're disappointed themselves that they don't win because they believe that they should. I was like 17 playing in that national championship. I think it was in Pittsburgh. I had a blast. Had like the time of my life because it was just fun to travel with my buddies, see all the people from that's what I mean by it was such competitive locals. It was literally like you go to the WCQ and there was 15 people from my locals who all qualified. So that means like all of those people either topped a regional, won a regional invitational tournament like myself. They were all players that would have wiped the floor with the general population of the game, and we were all playing meta decks. So it was a beautiful time. It was a beautiful time in Yu-Gi-Oh! It was a beautiful time in my life as well. But who knows? Maybe this is the new chapter of my professional Yu-Gi-Oh! Career. Anyway, it's been your boy Neosynthesis. This has been an absolute long video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Maybe you can just put this on in the car while you're doing an hour drive. I like to do stuff like that. There's some replays in the background, but it was mostly just me talking. I did do a little bit of interaction with my my collection, kind of just showing off some cards that I have played and giving a little context about them. In case you guys were wondering, the best results my favorite deck to play ever was the I had this like Dark Pendulum list that I was really partial to back in the day. I explained a little bit about that deck, but I didn't really go into more detail. I loved playing that deck. It was really hard though. But I'd say my favorite deck is probably Shadal's all time. But the deck that I had the most success with was definitely that Burning Abyss Phantom Knight deck. I mean, obviously that's when I won my regional invitation tournament with. So yeah, that's my highest achievement in my Yu-Gi-Oh career. Until I got Platinum in Master Duel, and I'm gonna hit rank 1 when the ladder comes out, guys, and win all the tournaments on Master Duel. Just watch me.